Well, Stuart, good to see you and wearing your We Are Undefeatable t-shirt. So we start off just really by telling us what the Undefeatable project is all about.
Yeah, well, it's been running for some time now, and you may have seen the advert on TV. And the whole sort of aim behind the Undefeatables is to encourage people to be active, to get off the couch and to be active. And it can be all sorts of people with who might be living with any kind of conditions, and rather than let those conditions beat them, being able is a much better way forward. Therefore, doing some kind of physical activity, either on their own or in a group, is going to help them to feel better about themselves and to become more able and better and more healthy. Basically, it's open to anyone, but what they really want is they want mixed teams. So they want mixed ability, mixed gender, mixed age, some with disabilities, some not. They really want to make sure that we cover the whole sort of gambit, really.
And how did you get involved with the project?
Well, bizarrely, I had an email from them, completely out of the blue. It was another one of those pinch yourself moments like I've had over the last couple of years, where I was asked if I would like to be the head coach for a project that they were setting up called Virtual Walking Football. They wanted me to set up a virtual walking football team. I was intrigued as to how they'd found out about me, and I asked them, and they'd done their research, and they'd seen that with the WFA we'd done some coaching courses in Hong Kong, in Malaysia, Singapore, Rwanda, Guernsey, and they'd obviously liked what they'd seen. They took my biography to Sport England, who are supporting this and funding this, who were very keen for them to work with me. So they didn't contact anyone else. They basically, I was thrilled, they were happy, they were thrilled or happy, whatever. And yeah, we decided we'd work together.
And then, of course, another feather in the cap for the WFA and helping to raise the profile of the organisation.
Well, it's brilliant for the WFA because obviously they've come to us, and because we in fairness, we've done an awful lot for the sport. We have been to lots of countries. We have done an awful lot for grassroots walking football in this country with the toolkits, with training of referees. So we've done everything that you would expect an NGP to do, and we've done those things. So they've obviously looked for someone from that organisation with experience in coaching. And fortunately, I'm very pleased that they actually came to me.
And this latest development, what do you think that says about walking football?
Well, we all know how important walking football is for physical and mental health and well-being. We've been saying this for years that if you can get anyone who's played any kind of team sport, will know how important it is, that camaraderie, that the banter, the mickey taking, call it what you want, but we've started up walking football the last 2 or 3 weeks post lockdown. It's been in bubbles. It's been very gentle. It's been very slow. But what everyone has enjoyed most about it is getting outside with their mates and having a laugh and having banter. And it's so important for mental health, as well as the fun and the fitness and the friendship. As well as those three things, it's about mental health as much as anything else. And being locked in, no offence to anyone's partner, but being locked in the same house for 3 to 4 months with the same people, you're bound to want to get out and meet other people and just enjoy other people's company. So yeah, walking football, any walking sports are brilliant for the older generation, for people with injuries. Yeah, at my club, we've got a couple of guys in their 30s, one who's recovering from a stroke, one who's got a heart condition, he can't play 11-side. So it's not always the older generation, but the majority is 50 plus. It's just great at getting people out and physically active and having fun.
The fact that we've had this enforced break, do you think that has reinforced the importance of it and the whole as you say, not only the physical side, but the mental side as well. The fact that people haven't been able to take part, do you think people appreciate that even more now?
Well, certainly that's the feedback I've been getting from our chaps at Abbey Mead Rovers. The WhatsApp groups have been great. The online physio sessions have been great, but it's no substitute for actually getting out there and meeting people face to face, even at a distance of 2 or 3 meters, and just having fun with people. So I think you're right, it will completely reinforce the message that, this is a great way. I take my hat off to people who can be so self-motivated. They can go for a jog every day on their own. They can go to the gym on their own every day, listen to their music. I've always been a team person. And for me, there's nothing better than getting out with a group of guys and doing something that you really enjoy, whether it be walking football, walking rugby, anything, just getting out with other people and really enjoying it.
And when we talk about the Undefeatables, what will be the legacy from that project?
Well, the one of the problems is that the newsletter that the WFA put out last week was so successful that we had over 20 replies within the first half an hour. And there's only going to be 12 people on this course. So we're very much treating it as a pilot, really. The way I see it working, we're going to have 2 groups of 6, and we're going to have them as 2 walking football teams. We'll have a bit of competition between the 2. We may have quizzes, we may have other elements of competition. I'm going to give them routines to work on each week. We're going to contribute to the Keepy Up challenge that the Walking Football Association has supported. That the young girl called Imogen, who's trying to get over 7 million keep-ups. I'm going to set them that as a challenge. So there's going to be all sorts going on during the 10 weeks. But at the end of it, going back to the question, the legacy, well, I've had Malaysia, Cyprus and Hong Kong contact me wanting to be a part of this. Now, clearly, We Are Undefeatable is a UK initiative, but that's not to say that these other countries couldn't benefit. So all the activities that we do, we're going to put them on Twitter or on the Facebook page for the We Are Undefeatable. And what I'm hoping is that I've talked to these other countries, is that they will maybe go online and see some of these activities and try them out in their own countries. I've been contacted by 2 or 3 guys who want to help coach. So maybe they can set up their own group in their own region. And yeah, so the legacy would be that we see what I'm doing as a pilot and the other things from this spiral. And the people that I get in my team may not already be walking footballers. And I would hope that the publicity that we create from this might help to spread the word a little bit more about walking sports, and in particular walking football. And maybe more people will take it up. If from this only another 10 people take it up, then for me, that's job done. It's about raising the profile. It's about letting people know how good walking football is for health and well-being. And if we can encourage more to take it up, then brilliant, job done.
Certainly. And what do you see finally, Stuart, as the future for walking football?
When I first started, it was a bit of a shambles, really. Every tournament you went to had different rules. And the referees couldn't cope. They didn't know what rules they were playing to. The players couldn't cope. They didn't know. So over the last 5 years, I think WFA has done a brilliant job of working on the laws of the game to unite an awful lot of clubs out there. But I remember some statistics from the FA that something like 77% of people 5 years ago, played walking football just for fun, which is absolutely brilliant. That's the main reason we must do it. But I think just the number of competitions and tournaments and leagues and tours overseas to hot countries, it's a massive growth area at the moment. And I can continue to see it growing in terms of numbers of teams that are setting up, numbers of countries that get involved. You know yourself, Nick, that we had 16 countries interested in the World Cup, but we had to call it off because of Corona. We've had something like 6 or 7 new countries now registering their interest for the World Cup next year. So, having to call it off for a year, maybe it's going to be a bigger and better tournament as a result with more countries. And if that's happening within 1 year, a few years down the line, walking football is going to be huge globally, I think.
Well, that's great. Thanks for your time, Stuart, and all the very best with the Undefeatables.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate your time. Thank you.